Alright, so welcome back to Whitehouse Farm. What we're going to be doing today, got some new stuff in for the boat. I'm actually going to go ahead and put in an electronic ignition, and that's the part number for the Mercruisers, at least through Pertronix. It's 1146A, and I got the 3 ohm 40,000 volt igniter coil as well, because with the 4 cylinders it needs to be a 3 ohm, and you're also going to need to do ballast resistor delete on this, so you also need some 12 gauge wire, and you'll have to hook that up from the alternator to the positive coil on this. But let's go ahead. Oh yeah, I forgot, I also got a new rotor. Remember from the last video, the kit that I bought, the rotor was broken in it, but the guys at Anderson are awesome, and they went ahead and gave me a replacement for it, so we'll be able to put a new rotor on as well. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna delete the ballast resistor and the points and condenser, and electronic ignition is gonna be so much easier. You don't have to worry about sanding down the points every year and checking it and all that stuff. I did the same thing with my 1947 Ford 2N. I ran it for the first couple years I had it on the old 6 volt with points and stuff, and then I ended up converting it with a Pertronix electronic ignition and upgraded to a 12 volt with that, and for 10 years never had any issues. So hopefully it'll be the same thing with this. We'll go ahead and get these installed and go from there. So let's go ahead and start digging into it. So first thing we want to do is go ahead and remove our cap here. You can leave your spark plug wires all hooked up and everything. You just need to take the cap off. Flip this up out of the way. Or down. Alright, so there's our old rotor. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and save this rotor, and I'm going to save my condenser and my points, because these are pretty much new. I put them in not too long ago. I'll save them just in case, I don't know, for some weird reason I might want to go back to points, but I highly doubt it. But they're new, so I'll hang on to them. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is disconnect our coil here. And it's going to be a 3/8. Okay, now we can remove this entire assembly right now. There's 2 screws. And that whole thing just comes right off, just like that. You can see the springs and the inside. It actually doesn't look too bad. It's not all rusted up and stuff. So that's a good thing. Alright, remove the top here. There we go. And let's see here. Looks like it's gonna be that one main bolt to get the whole thing off. So let's just pull the whole thing there. And that's going to be a 14 millimeter. Alright, take the whole thing off. Set that back in there for right now so we don't lose it. Okay, now just a single screw we gotta loosen up here to get the coil out. It slides right out of there. And this is the old coil and number on there. Okay, so here's our new coil. And this is the 3 ohm flamethrower. Okay, those are all loosened up. Let's go ahead and put this in here now. And we're going to go ahead and tighten it back up. Okay, that's back on there nice and tight. We can go ahead and reinstall this. There's a little tab here that goes in right there when you set it. Alright, then just tighten it back up. Alright, so that's on there nice and secure now. So now here's the positive side. Now, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be deleting this wire right here. That wire, not the yellow and purple, but the all purple one. We're gonna go ahead and cut that because that's got the ballast resistor hooked to it. And what we're gonna have to do, we're gonna have to run another wire from the alternator, run a 12 gauge wire, hook it on the back and run it up through here, and then hook it onto the positive here. That way this 3 ohm coil will be able to work with the electronic ignition without dropping the volts, because the ballast resistor takes a 12 volt and drops it down to a 9 volt, and we want the full 12 volts. Alright, so let's go ahead and start assembling our electronic ignition. Okay, here's our electronic ignition. Directions. All right. So it comes with a gapper for this top magnetic piece here. It's 0.030. So that's how much space you're supposed to have in between. And then it's got 2 lock nuts here. So this is our old one. This is the points. And here, take that off of there. It's magnetic, so it sticks to it. And there's our new one, new plate. So we're gonna go ahead and hook everything up on here. All right, and you wanna put this part of the plate that's open with this part that's open, because that's where your wire is going to run out through here. So this goes on here just like this. And now we're going to put those 2 screws back in. Alright, so this goes on just like this. And now you're gonna run this to the back. Now we got that on. Let's go ahead and put our 2 lock nuts on there. Okay, now we can go ahead and put the magnet on, and we're going to put it on until it lines up on here. There's indentations in there that match up with the distributor. And we got our brand new rotor. That's the part number for it. Quicksilver. Okay, and this is your gapping tool. You get the magnet down. So that it's about 0.30. That's what this is. Now we want to put our wire back through here. And it's just going to sit in there. I can move this out a little bit. I don't like how close it is to the rotor and the magnet. There we go. See, that just gives the wire a little more space away from that. I didn't like how close that was to that. What's down in there? Go ahead and get this on there. Okay. Go ahead and tighten these up. And that's tight. Let's go ahead and reconnect our coil here. So let's remove the lock nut, or lock washer and nut. And remove this one. And now we can connect our negative to the negative and the positive to the positive. And we can connect our negative to the negative here. Okay, so let's go ahead and clean up these wires now. Now we can put them back on the positive. Now we can hook this back up to the coil. All right, so to delete that ballast resistor, we're gonna go ahead and run some 12 gauge wire. We're gonna hook it up. We're gonna go ahead and cut this all purple wire right there, and then we're gonna hook up this 12 gauge wire to there, and we're gonna run it all the way up to the ignition. I was gonna run it over to the starter, or to the alternator, but I'm gonna run it straight to the ignition. That way I know it's right on there. So let's go ahead and start running the wire. All right, so right where that black and purple wire are, that's where I'm gonna hook it up to. Right up here. Oh, it's a little hard to see, but yeah, right where that purple wire is coming off. So let's go ahead and disconnect that. All right, that's on there good. All right, so that is now hooked in there to our ignition switch. All right, so it's crimped down there. Now let's go ahead and attach it to the positive on here. Also, let's not forget this purple wire here. We can go ahead and disconnect that now. There we go. So that deletes our ballast resistor. All right, so we got that running straight to the ignition. We got our ballast resistor deleted from this now. And now this will run at the full 3 ohms. All right, so one thing left to do. Let's go ahead and try it and see if it works. Once again, all electronic ignition in there. Condenser and points have been removed. And we got the new 3 ohm coil on there, and we deleted the ballast resistor and put on a new ignition. This runs right to the ignition, right to the positive on here to the ignition. So, all right. And here we go. We're gonna fire it up. 1, 2, 3, 3.5, 4. Just kidding. Here we go. Oh, that sounds nice and smooth too. Nice. Listen how quiet that is, and that sounds so smooth. Love it. All right. And just to make sure that it wasn't just a one start thing, let's start it again. All right, yeah, I like that. That's nice and smooth and instant start. So, all right, so there you go. That's how you install the 3 ohm capacitor with, or sorry, not capacitor, the 3 ohm coil pack with the electronic ignition for a Mercruiser. All right, so there you go. All new electronic ignition and coil pack in there. So I like it. Can't wait to get it out on the water now. Hope you guys like it. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and post down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And once again, hope you guys liked, enjoyed, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys. Oh yeah, one last thing before I forget. Make sure you cap and tape up the split ends where you cut where the ballast resistor was. So that way, because this is still live off of there. So go ahead and cut them, cap them, and tape them. Or if you want to just put a whole, cut this wire and put a whole new one on here. You know, whatever you want to do. This is just simpler. Just capped it and taped it. That way it can't hurt anything. So, all right, we'll see you. All right, so the boat's all set now. We got that new coil pack in there, and we got the new Pertronix electronic ignition. If you guys are interested in getting these for your Mercruiser boat, just go ahead and head down to my description and click the Amazon link down below, and it'll bring you right to it, and you can buy one for yourself and get it all installed in your boat. As you see, quick and easy, and works good. So, all right, thanks guys. We'll see you.
You can't say goodbye without saying goodbye to me.
All right, Olaf. We'll see you on the next one. All right, bye, Obo.
Hi, guys.